Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday morning practice, afternoon for those from Europe, and late evening for those from Asia. So today I'm going to pick a word, and the word I want to pick is posture. So I remember when I first came to United States in 1971 to San Francisco, attended high school. Turns out back then, if you're 15 and a half, you can apply for a driving permit, and the high school actually gives you a free driving lesson. It's a big deal for teenagers. And then it's usually after class, so you go there and there's a bungalow, and we didn't have any computers back then. There's no technology, in any sense of the word. But what they had a projector. And so they were projecting movies, and the film has a time code. So the idea is that you're supposed to be like in a car, it makes it look like a car. And then when someone walks in front of you, you're supposed to step on the brake. And if you don't step on the brake in time, the light would come up, and the teacher would come to you and says, "Well, you have to pay attention." That was technology. Now, it turns out that was not what we start with. What we start with was something that looks like a horse. The kids that play with the horse, and it kind of just looked like that. And you sit on it, and there's a wooden wheel in front of you. And for 3-4 weeks, that's all we practiced was posture. This is how you're supposed to sit. You have to be aware of the mirror. You're supposed to be aware of the rear mirror here, and you put your hands on the wheel. 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Now, I still remember that, right? And I still drive like that. And you're supposed to turn your head this way and turn your head. It's all about posture. And after the teacher is sufficiently satisfied with your posture, are you able to then go into that room where they had the technology, quote unquote. So posture is very important. Posture is particularly important for us because what we're trying to do is we're trying to find a union between a body and a mind. We're trying to develop the chi as a bridge between the body and the mind. So sitting properly is very important for your chi. So where do we start? You have to start by thinking that there is an energy line that travels in the back, what we call the yang energy line. Yang is when it's facing the sun, influenced by the sun. And then there's a yin energy line in the front. Yin means the shadow, the absence of the sun. And this is the primary vessel for the energies to go around, or this way. Okay, it actually, I keep doing it this way, but in fact it can go either way. So you have to start by straightening up your spine, as if somebody's pulling the hair on top of your head, and you just completely straighten the spine. Then the next thing is your shoulder. You have to relax your shoulder, lift up your shoulder, rotate it back, and relax. Be mindful that there's an energy point on top, there's an energy point in front, and then there are energy point in the back. And you have to feel like your shoulder is relaxed, but completely balanced, so you're not hunching in the back, and you're not overextending like this, and you're not lifting up like this, but just completely balanced, top, front, and back. Now you have to take your head and you lean back, and then tuck in your chin, so that the top of the head is actually not in the center of the head, it's actually like right here. Okay, so this point is the 100 meter. This is where all of the yang energy, not just from the principal vessel, but all the secondary vessel come together. So this point has to face the heaven. Okay, so you do that again. After you straighten up your spine, relax your shoulder, lean back your forehead, tuck in your chin. Now, what happened here is that the 100 meet and the energy on the shoulder forms a triangle. This is your personal pyramid. You're actually now communicating with the heaven. This is like the antenna. Now the next thing you have to do is, after you straighten your spine, is that you have to lean back slightly. The entire body lean back slightly. Because what happened is that we're primate. And we're not used to having the center of gravity so far on vertical. We're used to going like this, okay? So you have to correct that by leaning back. And you can actually feel energy as you concentrate on your spine. You can actually feel some energy as you lean back. So you have to maintain this posture. This is the important posture. This is like 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, okay? Only then can you really benefit from the exercise. Again, keep in mind that the exercise is not just on the body, but the body and the mind. And the energy is not just on the yang, which means energetic. It's also on the yin, which means restorative. So as soon as we exercise the body, we have to come back and rest. After you exercise the body, you activate the sympathetic nerve, you have to come back and activate the parasympathetic nerve to create that harmony between the yin and the yang, okay? Completely relax. The way to relax is to put your body into the parasympathetic, the rest and digest. So the way you do that, a little bit of refinement on the posture. Sit up straight, stretch your spine, open your shoulder, relax your shoulder, lean back the forehead, tuck in your chin, entire body move forward. And as you come back, hold the hip in place. The hip is actually forward, but your upper torso is back. As you do that, you're bending your hip forward. You feel the stress around your lower back, either side of your spine, where your adrenal gland is located. You're essentially shutting off any stress hormone. Relax. So now, stand firmly on the ground. Again, back to the word posture. When we sit, we have a posture. When we stand, we have a posture. Not only that, the sitting posture has to be embedded in the standing. So let's just figure out how we're supposed to stand. You stand with your feet firmly on the ground, gushing springs touching the earth, absorbing the energy. Energy is like the spring gushing up. Now you open your shoulder. You relax your shoulder, both front and back and top and top. The top of the shoulder is called the well on the shoulder. So you better put that well on top of the spring, right? And then you take your sitting posture and embed in the standing, which means that you lift up your forehead, tuck in your chin. You stand and you sit, okay? Now, I mentioned today's word is posture. So we talked about how to sit properly, how to stand properly. We're going to teach you how to sleep properly. And I've done this before where a lot of people have a hard time sleeping. A lot of people have a hard time going to the bathroom. They're constipated all the time. A lot of people have problem eating. They cannot digest the food, or they have metabolic problems even after they digest the food. All those are problems. All those come from stress hormone. Your cortisol and your adrenaline. You need them to survive, but if you don't know how to relieve them, then they start to destroy you from within. So how do you go to sleep properly? First of all, forget about sleep. Don't sleep at all anymore. From now on, I don't want you to sleep. From now on, I want you to do meditation. And in the process, you can fall asleep. And when you wake up in the middle of the night, first thing you want to do is not to ask yourself, how come I woke up again? No. If you wake up in the middle of the night, don't turn on your iPhone. Okay, don't look at it. Because once you look at it, it excites you. And now you cannot go to sleep. Just put it aside and then just tell yourself time to meditate. And then again, you will fall asleep while you meditate. And when you fall asleep while you meditate, the quality is really good. Okay? Now, how do we sleep properly? What is the posture for sleeping? Okay, now first we're going to do that without a pillow, which is a bad idea because your head is not elevated, so your blood is flowing into your brain. You don't want that. So you want to find a pillow that is just right, not like this, just right. So that is slightly above the rest of your body, but not too much. I recommend that you sleep on your right side, but if you must sleep on the left side, that's okay too. Okay, so that's not hard. That's not a hard requirement. But for me, I was taught to sleep on my right side. So you rotate onto the right. First, you're going to straighten up your legs, and then now you're going to bring back one or both of the legs so that the bones are not touching the bones. Okay, so the bones is touching the muscle, the meat, and the meat is touching the bone. All right. Now what you do is you find a second pillow, a smaller one, or a blanket, or none, or nothing. It's okay if you have nothing. Now you rotate, so you're looking at the ceiling. Then you put the pillow, you locate your rib cage, and you put that right below the rib cage. Not too much. You need to find it. Everybody's different. Now you rotate back to the side, and you feel the pressure that is created by the pillow. Now you take your two hands. You can do it any way you want. I usually cover the top of my head with one, and I put the other. And I usually put it here because sometimes when I sleep, I don't have a pillow. So then I use my hand to apply pressure. Okay? But right now I have a pillow, so that's just rest. And then what you want to do, you feel how when you breathe and your stomach moves, and because you're putting a pillow here, it creates some pressure. And what you want to do is just focus on that. Just focus on that. Now your mind is not going to want to do that, so your mind's going to drift away, and just keep asking your mind to come back. And instead of forcing yourself to sleep, you say, wow, what a great opportunity. I can actually meditate while I sleep, while I lie down. And if you happen to go to sleep, go to sleep. Okay? Now, we're going to do this for 3 minutes. Okay? Just 3 minutes now. Focus on your breath, focus on your stomach. Feel your stomach is expanding and collapsing. Feel the presence of your pillow and just stay focused on your breath. Let go of your mind. Don't put extra pressure on yourself to try to go to sleep. Just relax. Focus on your breath. You will go to sleep on your own. Don't worry. You go to sleep because your body is tired. The reason that you cannot sleep at night, or the reason that you wake up in the middle of the night and can't go back to sleep, is because you're stuck in the fight or flight. You're stuck in the sympathetic mode where your adrenal gland is still putting out stress hormone, putting out cortisol and putting out adrenaline. Cortisol destroys melatonin. Melatonin is a chemical that tells your body that it's time to go to sleep. So cortisol completely destroys melatonin. You cannot sleep like that. You won't be able to sleep. Now, in the morning, your body knows that you're supposed to wake up. So then it will put out cortisol so that you can now, the melatonin would dissipate, and then now you go to sleep. So by sleeping like this and turning sleep into meditation, is that you're basically shutting down your entire body, focusing on your breathing. So that does a number of things. One is that since you're not using your spiral cord anymore, the central nerve system for the sympathetic, for the fight or flight, is not the brain. That's why it's called autonomous. It's not under the control. It's under the control of a separate nerve system that is distributed in your spine that has to do with sensation. All your sensors comes into the spine. But by sleeping like this, you're shutting that down. So hopefully you're not in the fight or flight. And then by focusing on the breathing, you're slowly massaging your internal organ. And this parasympathetic, the rest and digest, the nerve system is distributed in the internal organ. So by learning how to pay attention to your breathing and massaging your internal organs, put you in the fight or flight. That's how you reduce stress. So we slept for 3 minutes. We sit like the bell. The bell is the energy field. The spiral cord, the spine is the clapper that's hanging from the ceiling. We stand like the pine tree with the feet firmly on the ground. We lie down like the bow, like bow and arrow. Okay? So we come back to the sitting. Sitting is the earth element. Standing is the fire element. Lying down is the water element. So at night, if you have a habit of doing a sitting meditation before you go to bed, it's best that you do some lying down meditation. Let yourself rejuvenate first. Then you use the water element to irrigate the soil. So when we come back, we're going to sit properly now, opening our shoulder, straight up our spine, back to our posture. Relax the shoulder so that it's relaxed on top, relax in the front, and relax in the back. Take the forehead, lean back so that the neck is touching the collar. Tuck in your chin, putting pressure on the artery. Entire body lean forward. And then back, upper torso back, hip forward, putting pressure on the adrenal gland, shutting down the stress hormone. Lean back as if you're going to fall over. And then now this is called the one pillar supporting the sky. You're now part of the universe. You are in fact the center of the universe. If something is unbound, infinite, any point is the center. Now you want to relax your eyelid so you can actually see through your eyelashes. You can see your knee, you can see the ground. Now I want you to take the tongue, the tip of the tongue, very gently touch the roof of your mouth, right where the roof of the mouth meets the teeth. This way it activates the salivary gland, enticing your body into the rest and digest. And now all I want you to do is focus on your breath. Feel your breath as you breathe in. Feel your breath as you breathe out. As you breathe in, open the stomach, relax the stomach. As you breathe out, compress the stomach. Using your diaphragm, breathe in, open the stomach. We call this intentional breathing. Breathe out, collapse the stomach. Breathe in, open the stomach. Now, if you have sleeping disorder, then you do lying down meditation. If you have constipation, this is a good exercise. You're actually exercising your small intestine and your large intestine using your diaphragm. Breathe in and breathe out. Pay attention to your breath. One breath at a time. Remember now, you sit like the bell, okay? Which means that your feet are like the pedestal supporting the bell, and your spine is like the clapper hanging from the ceiling. Every breath, you maintain the posture. Now, as you get good at observing your breath, I want you to feel the quality of the air when you breathe in, nice and fresh, full of positive energy. By contrast, when you breathe out, the air is more moist, more stale, full of negative energy. Come back to the posture, maintain the posture, straighten up your spine, open your shoulder, relax your shoulder, lean back your forehead, tuck in your chin, maintaining pressure on your adrenal gland. The entire body lean back, eyelid relax, tip of the tongue touching the roof. Continue to observe the quality of the air breathing in, quality of the air breathing out. Next time when you breathe in, think of all that positive energy. And I want you to start at the bottom of your spine and bring it along the spine, bring it up the spine, bring it to the back of your neck, all the way to the back of your head, all the way to the top of the head, as if you bring in positive energy to your mind. You feel your brain is cooling off because of that. Feels good, huh? And then as you breathe out, start at the forehead and let all that negative energy just settle. Someone mentioned about camping. So when you go camping, you take some water from the spring, you see debris in the water, you just let the water, let the debris settle. Just let it sit. Let it sit. And then the debris would fall. So your negative energy is like this. Just let it fall from the forehead down to the bridge of your nose, down to your lip, continue along your tongue, and then to your chin, to your chest, to your belly buttons, all the way down. You feel the weight on your feet. And then when you breathe in again, start at the bottom of your spine, go up, bring your body with you, straighten up your spine, open your shoulder, relax your shoulder, lean back your forehead, tuck in your chin. And when you come down, let it fall, and then lean back the body as if you're getting out of the way. Let that negative energy just drain out of your brain. You don't want any of that. You don't want that anxiety, that fear, the anger. You don't want that. Just let it settle. Let it just settle. Okay? So do that for 3 minutes. Okay, open your eyes. So when you maintain your posture, again, we talk about posture being the word of the day, and sitting properly like this, standing properly, lying down properly. Today we're not going to talk about walking, but in 2 weeks we do some walking. So there's posture associated with walking as well. Then when you sit like this, we call this the one pillar supporting the sky. And then when you start to guide and entice the energy in you to circulate around your primary vessel, bring along all the secondary vessels so that the yang energy goes up and the yin energy comes down like this. Eventually, those energy would take over, and it seems to have a mind of its own, and then you're just following it as opposed to driving it. Then we call this the wandering dragon chasing the pearl. Now, when that happens, it's not your own energy that you feel, it's the energy of the universe that you feel, because now you're one with the universe. So a lot of people, they don't really understand qi. And again, I said qi has two parts. There's a circulation, and then there is also the bioenergy part. It's really the relationship between electricities and magnetism. Electricity is how your body functions. Our body is just a chemical factory. A hormone, enzyme, all the other stuff. It all works because of chemistry. And with chemistry comes electricity, right? So your blood is electrical, your muscle relies on its own electrical network, your nerve is all electrical. So when you have these electrical activities, they create magnetism. And we don't understand, the Western science completely ignore that, which is ironic because the Western science are the one that understood the interaction between electricity and magnetism. That's why they were able to have such scientific advances in the last 150 years. Is understanding how electricity and magnetism work. Until then, the factories in London were driven by belts. They didn't have any motors. Until then, they didn't know about how to do telegrams. It's only understanding of the electricity and the magnetism that they make advances. They do understand the relationship in electricity and magnetism. That's why you have MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. They do understand that, but they don't understand it in the level of the mind. They understand it in the level of the body. So when you're paying attention to your electrical activities, clearing out blockage and all that, then the magnetic field that is associated with electricity is coherent. And so when you sit like this and you guide and entice these free electrons that you generate in your lower abdomen because you're massaging the small intestines and you guide it along the path, it creates resonance with the universe. And all of a sudden you're part of the universe. The energy that you feel is actually the energy from the universe. Okay?